My sister has a daughter who has a smartphone. She can maneuver through that phone better than I can. She loves to play games and watch videos and spends close to 4 hours a day on it. She is only 3 years old. I work in a kindergarten class where there's 20 students, and I would say half of them have a smartphone. When should you give your child a smartphone? Balancing your child's wants and needs with what you feel is best for them can be tricky. Dr. Wick from the Child Mind Institute advises delaying the age of the first smartphone for as long as possible. I'm a dinosaur among my friends because I wouldn't give my kids a cell phone until they got to high school, and then a smartphone when they got to college. My sons at age 9 and 11 constantly said, "I'm the only one without a cell phone. Why can't I have one?" Well, when they finished 8th grade, we bought them a flip phone. No data, just talk and text. We added the GPS when they started to drive. According to them, I was a mean mom, but I just wanted to protect them. Today, I want to talk about the dangers of smartphones and how to determine if your child is ready for one, and then set rules and guidelines for your children to follow when they do receive one. Before you add your children to this cellular plan, consider some of the dangers and why waiting until your children are older and more responsible before giving them a cell phone is a better option. First of all, smartphones are expensive, so why would you give a 3-year-old a smartphone? According to research conducted by the Kaiser Foundation, cell phone use harms a child's health. When brains are exposed to excessive use of technology, it can lead to problems like attention deficit disorder, cognitive delays, learning problems, a lack of self-control. It also can change the child-parent relationships. Children are not going to develop those deep personal relationships with one another. Here is a picture of a family sitting together on a couch, not communicating, but just playing on their cell phones. It's also addictive. The more time you spend on a phone, it's harder to stop the behavior. Here are some young children playing on the phone at the park instead of swinging on the swings or playing on slides. It also limits their creative minds and impedes their ability to learn. According to an analytic firm, Fury, children and teens spend up to 5 hours a day on their phones. 5 hours. A survey by the Royal Society of the Public Health asked 14 to 18-year-olds in the UK how social media platforms impact their health and well-being. A survey results found that Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram led to increased feelings of depression, anxiety, poor body image, obesity, and loneliness. Video games can also desensitize children to violence. There's cyberbullying on social media. Dr. Catherine Adair, who's a clinical psychologist and an author of The Big Disconnect, said kids miss out on critical social skills when they're on their phones. There's also privacy concerns. They're also dangerous. The GPS allows strangers to see where you're located. The Journal of Pediatrics found 1,300 middle school students ranging from ages 10 to 15 years old. 60% of them anonymously said they have viewed pornography, they've sent inappropriate pictures, posted risky comments or pics or videos, and their parents didn't know about it. And lastly, text and talking while driving is another danger that teens face. Well, now you know some of the dangers. How do you determine when a child should receive a phone? Bill Gates, the tech billionaire from Microsoft, said their kids weren't allowed to have a smartphone until they were in high school, and then he also limited their screen time. A website, Common Sense Media, gives practical questions you can ask yourself before giving your child their first phone. Does your child need a phone for safety? Will they follow the rules and phone use and the apps downloaded? Can you trust them not to drive and text or use their phone in class or text or use photo or video functions responsibly? Are they responsible with their belongings? Will that old-fashioned flip phone be sufficient? When you determine if your child should receive a cell phone and decide to take that plunge, set some clear rules and guidelines in a conversation before they receive their device. Rules should come across as, this is how it's going to be in our home. If you wait until there's problems and then react, the phone rules will come across as punishment. Here are 5 simple rules that parents should apply. Number 1, no phones in their bedroom at night. Kids need their sleep. If they're allowed to text their friends, they're going to text them all night long. The best way to carry out this rule is everyone in the house put their cell phones in a box at night to charge it, like in a kitchen. Parents too. Also have a limit on what time all the cell phones need to be shut off at night. If kids say they need their phone alarm, buy them an alarm clock. Problem solved. Number 2, no cell phones during meals or family time. Phones need to be turned off so you can have that uninterrupted time together. Number 3, set up parental controls. There are numerous parental controls available for all smartphones, especially for young children. Young teens need to have their time limits set. You can track their calls, moderate their social media, and make sure they're not looking at anything or sending anything inappropriate. Number 4, get their passwords. Children give their passwords for their phone. Also become their friend on social media so you can see who their friends are. Number 5, no text or talking while driving. Nothing is so important that they can't wait to pull over safely before they respond to a text or a phone call. Take the time to talk with your children and let them know why you're setting up these rules and the importance of being safe while driving, surfing the internet, using social media. Many kids don't understand these dangers. Make sure you stick to the rules and establish consequences if they're not followed. It's more important to keep your children safe than to make them happy. No doubt, trying to decide what age is appropriate to give your child a cell phone is tough. But remember, smartphone age is tough for children too. As we've discussed, parents need to be aware of the dangers and with the smartphones. Determine when and if your child is ready to accept these responsibilities, and then set rules and guidelines before you give them their phone. Just because your child is intelligent or smart enough to use a smartphone doesn't mean that they're mature or responsible to use one.